Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 175. And it is Monday once again, and I hope everyone had a good weekend. I need to pause that. Pause, please. Thank you. I have misplaced my Bluetooth headset. So I usually what I do, I usually have the stream playing as well through my Bluetooth headset so that I can hear anything that might have gone wrong or make sure that I'm actually still live. Um, but I do not have my Bluetooth headset with me today, so I will have to just keep an extra eye on chat. So if you hear my phone yammering in the background, that is why. My Bluetooth headset has grown legs. And you know what? It probably hasn't grown legs. It's probably somewhere ridiculously obvious. Because that's the story of my life. I think I've lost something and it's, you know, right on a shelf somewhere or laying on the table or something stupid like that. So let's say hello to chat here. Green Thunder says hello. Hi, Green Thunder. Armskiller 2 is here. Rolling Bear is here. Gun Fox is here. Hello, sir. So I've got 9 stories. Hopefully that'll get us through um, till the 2 o'clock hour. And we've got a bit of a running theme today. Two running themes. Uh, One of them, well, they're both Chinese related, but one of them is very much a 1984 type theme. And I'm wondering if you guys will see it too. Um, when I get there. Rest in peace, Bluetooth headset, says check your logic. No, it's not dead. It's just lost. And it's not even lost, I bet. It's somewhere very obvious. I'm willing to bet you anything that it is somewhere stupidly obvious, because that's just how that works. Let's see. I've got 3 stories from Pincalo, and then I grabbed 4 from Discord. And if we've got some time at the end, if they don't take us all the way to 2, there are lots more stories that I can grab from Discord. So we have no shortage of news today. So that is a good thing. I'm sure we will all be entertained. And so let's see here. I've even got all of the stories, the first 9 stories anyway, all picked out and everything and open. So I don't even have to go into my Twitter or anything. I've got all the tabs lined up here. This is awesome. I'm actually prepared today. Isn't that amazing, people? So let's see. Like and share the stream, guys, if you haven't already. It's a great help to help spread that out there. Throw it out on Twitter or if you're in any discords, throw it in the respective shilling channels or wherever. Share with your friends, your enemies, anyone you think might enjoy this. So let's see here. Our first story comes from Pincalo. We're gonna get his 3 out of the way here first. Canada suspends operations at embassy in Venezuela is the first story we're going to do here. Let's see here. This was published today. It's from the Canadian Press, or written by the Canadian Press. Yes, the Canadian Press is... Good Lord. Good old Chrystia Freeland. We've got a picture of her gracing the top of this article. As you know. Anyway, here's the body of the story. All right.
Ottawa, Canada suspended operations at its embassy in Venezuela on Sunday, saying President Nicolas Maduro's regime is increasingly clamping down on diplomats who oppose his rule.
Yes, he is. So you're suspending operations at your Canadian embassy in Venezuela. All right then.
The diplomats' visas are set to expire at the end of June, Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland said in a statement, and Maduro's regime, which Canada has denounced as illegitimate and characterized as a dictatorship, has made it so they cannot be renewed.
Okay, so it's not only there that Canada is protesting, it is that once their visas expire, Maduro's government is basically saying, no, you will not be allowed to renew your visas. Howdy, Gunfox. Howdy to you, sir. Oh my goodness. I took a reactant today, guys, but I am still stuffed up and scratchy throat and oh my god. Anyway.
As Venezuela slides deeper into dictatorship, and as Venezuelans continue to suffer at the hands of the illegitimate Maduro regime, the regime has taken steps to limit the ability of foreign embassies to function in Venezuela, particularly those advocating for the restoration of democracy in Venezuela, she said.
Yeah, it's a very obvious tactic. Maddie! She says that's a dictatorship for you. Yep. Gunfox says, Blind Press, your Discord was hit with a megaton news bomb today. Yeah, I saw, I was grabbing news articles, and then I went and dropped Alex off at school, and I came back, and there was, 40 more messages there, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'll have lots to pick from for tomorrow, too. And I do appreciate it all, Gunfox. I really do. So let's see here.
Freeland said the operations are being suspended temporarily, effective immediately. We are also evaluating the status of Venezuelan diplomats appointed by the Maduro regime to Canada, she said in the statement.
Okay, so we're probably gonna send their diplomats back home too. Because if they're not gonna renew our visas, then why should we renew theirs? That just makes sense to me. No point in being a doormat. Although that is what Trudeau does best, is to be a doormat. Some of them are about 2-minute news read. Okay. LOL for the week and the weekend, because I doubt you'll be able to get through all of them. Yeah, probably. That's true. Okay.
News that embassy operations were being put on hold came a day before Freeland was set to meet in New York with other members of the Lima Group, a bloc that includes more than a dozen Latin American countries opposing Maduro.
The Lima Group, huh? I know it said Lima, but I'm just picturing a group of lemurs just all talking about foreign policy. I don't particularly know why, but that is the image that has been conjured into my brain. A tit for tat in this case sends a message to the regime, says Maddie. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Canada is among as many as 50 countries that have said Maduro stole last year's election and is no longer the legitimate leader of Venezuela.
He did steal the election. I'm glad this is getting more and more widespread attention.
Instead, a Lima Group-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido, who declared himself Venezuela's interim leader at the beginning of this year. Freeland said that through its work with the Lima Group, the government will continue to advocate for democracy in the South American nation. Canada has imposed sanctions on more than 100 officials in Maduro's regime in a bid to hold them accountable. You are currently on a text element inside
Wow,
web content.
100 officials. How do you pose sanctions or impose sanctions? How does a country impose sanctions on individual people? That's interesting. Let's see. Blind press. Canada versus Ven. Who will have the bigger balls? If I was a betting man, I'd say Canada would fold unless the US keeps the pressure up. No. Once Trudeau's out, you got to remember Trudeau's not in forever. And we're not, I bet you we're going to have a conservative government come October. And I have a feeling that, oh, excuse me. I have a feeling that the conservative leader will take a much more hardline approach to the Venezuela issue than Trudeau did.
The country's political and economic crisis has forced 3 million people to flee their homes in search of food, health care, and other basic services since 2015.
3 million people have left. Wow. That's a lot of people leaving the country in a very short amount of time. 2015 to now, that's 3.5 years. Because 2019 is not over yet. Well, no, I'd say 4.5 years. That's a lot of people in a very short amount of time. Not my prime minister says, check your logic. Yeah, I know. Seamus, hello.
Global Affairs said Canadians in Venezuela who need consular assistance can reach out to the Embassy of Canada to Colombia, in Bogota, and noted that Ottawa has advised against traveling to Venezuela for the past several months.
Okay, so Canadians, I guess it's let me read that again just to make sure I got that right.
Global Affairs said Canadians in Venezuela who need consular assistance can reach out to the Embassy of Canada to Colombia, in Bogota, and noted that Ottawa has advised against traveling to Venezuela for the past several months.
Okay, so I did hear that right. Canadians in Venezuela need to go to the embassy. Wow, the embassy in Colombia, in Bogota, and they will get help there. So that's good. And of course, the Canadian government has advised against traveling to Venezuela for several months, and that is true. There has been warnings saying basically, don't go there. That depends. Did it start in January? That's true. Let's see. Wait until the Venezuelan government starts to crack down on people and basically start putting them in work camps. I'm honestly, Gunfox, I'm surprised that it hasn't started yet. They're escalating so quickly that I'm surprised that this hasn't what you've mentioned hasn't been a thing.
Advertisement link. Use of this website assumed link.
Oh,
Terms and conditions.
we've got shut up, computer. And that's the end of that article. So let's move on to the next one here. And we'll close that tab. So here's the next one from Pink Hollow. Is Robert Pattinson ready to answer the bat signal? This is, let's see. Let's see what this says. So we've got a picture of Robert Pattinson here up at the top of this article. So let's see here.
Robert Pattinson, the 33-year-old actor still best known for portraying an emo teen vampire, is suddenly poised to play the world's biggest bet. Warner Brothers has approved Pattinson to become the next title star of its multi-billion-dollar Batman film franchise, Hollywood trade papers reported Friday.
Oh, that's who Robert Pattinson is. He's the fucking... Is he Twilight guy? No, says Maddie. No, he's not. Yeah, is he Robert Pattinson? He's the Twilight dude, right? That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, no, I don't see him being ready to be Batman.
Directed by Matt Reeves, Planet of the Apes, The Batman, set for release in the summer of 2021, is believed to center on the character's formative years, and by choosing Pattinson, the studio spurred a long tradition of debate and complaint among fans.
A long tradition of debate and complaint. I would say the tradition is more of debate than complaint. There's only been complaints when things have gone bad. Hello, Skip Talk. Let's see. Cedric Diggory and Edward Cullen. Oh, thank you. So he is Twilight dude and Cedric Diggory. I didn't know he was Cedric Diggory too. Okay. I've got you now. I know who Robert Pattinson is. He is definitely not a Batman. I'm Batman. Yes, hello. I am Batman. I'm a British Batman. Yes. Anywho, let's continue.
True to form, the announcement immediately prompted some sharp social media responses, which ranged from "now, horrible, DC Comics swings and misses again" to "have you seen him in anything not named Twilight? Because dude has real chops." You are current.
Yeah, I don't think he's... Cedric Diggory was such a bit part that you can't gauge his acting from that, and I honestly don't know of him from any other movies other than Harry Potter and Twilight. He may have some. But I don't... Yeah, I don't remember him from any other movies other than Harry Potter and Twilight. And in Harry Potter, his part was so small that you couldn't really judge. And, well, Twilight is Twilight. So, Weaponized Nerd Rage did a video listing some of his other parts. Oh, I'll have to check that out. He thinks he would make a good one. Okay. A Brit could be a bad man, but not Batman, says Skeptalk. Yes. The problem with Twilight is that the books were a train wreck and so were the movies. Okay, so we had a friend who had a girlfriend that was obsessed with the Twilight movies. And they were both visiting, and she insisted that we put on, I think it was the first Twilight movie. And oh my god, it was freaking awful. It was like, I think we got halfway through it, and Pinkalo and I were like, okay, this crap is not being played in our house anymore. We're turning this off. It was terrible. It was absolutely, to paraphrase, or to borrow a quote from a certain wrestling enthusiast that we all know and watched on the internet. That's miserable. It's miserable. You got a license for that racket, Falcone. Oh, that's good. Okay.
FSK_frame.
Stop that.
Nolan's critical. Indeed, the actor has built an impressive resume since exiting the Twilight Saga in 2012, which capped the $3.3 billion franchise. Choosing smaller films, he has picked up critic group nominations for such movies as The Rover, The Lost City of Z and Good Time, and has been winning early praise for his new film, The Lighthouse, opposite Willem Dafoe. He's also choosing fascinating directors to work with, including David Cronenberg, on Maps to the Stars, and Dark Knight trilogy filmmaker Christopher Nolan, on next year's Tenet, who knows a thing or two about casting talented young, brooding actors.
Okay, so I've never heard of any of those movies, but I have heard of those directors. And I have heard of Willem Dafoe, and I don't like Willem Dafoe, but that's neither here nor there. When are the books described Edward, or the books described Cullen as an Adonis, a dream man come to life? When I saw Pattinson in the movie, I was like, WTF, this is sexy now? No, don't see it, says Maddie. Yeah, I was just, and when I was watching Twilight, I'm like, these are what people call vampires now? No, this is not a vampire. No.
Nolan's critically hailed triptych gave way to the DC Extended Universe, the studio's interconnected films that include Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and Ben Affleck's beleaguered run as the older, grizzled Bruce Wayne. As recently as 2016, Affleck hoped to star in and direct a solo Batman film, but that was before the critical drubbing of Justice League and Suicide Squad, and before the box office underperformance of Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice had fully played out. You are currently.
I'm glad that solo movie didn't happen, because that was just maybe it's the movies he's been in, because there's been a lot of, like, maybe it's the movies he's been in. I can't think of any movies like that I have seen the titles of any of the movies that he's been in. I know I've seen Willem Dafoe movies. I just can't remember the titles. And the weird thing about me is when I forget the title of a movie, and I don't have reference to, like, once I have the reference of the title of the movie, then I can start remembering what the movie's about, and what happened. But when I don't have that reference for the title in my head, I can't remember, like, unless it's a really vivid memory. I can't remember what happened in the movies. He has been in 7.2 billion movies. Oh, he's been in a lot of movies, I know that. I couldn't get past the vampires sparkling in sunlight, says Green Thunder. I prefer my vampires to burst into flame when touched by sunlight. Thank you very much, says Green Thunder. Yes. To quote a conspiracy theorist, vampires in Twilight look like glow in the dark. He was the Green Hornet in the original Spider-Man. Oh, okay. He was Green Goblin? That's Green Goblin. Oh, Green Goblin, not Hornet. Okay, so in the original Spider-Man, have I seen? See, that falls under the category of movies like the original Spider-Man. Is pretty visual, right? So it's like movies like that are very hard to hold my interest. Um no, 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 no. We're about to go back to Robert Pattinson. We just had a bit of a side tangent. Um Robert Pattinson apparently worked alongside Willem Dafoe, and that's why we're talking about Willem Dafoe right now. Yeah, we're going back and forth, says Maddie. Yeah, we are. Let's see here.
That all works in Pattinson's favor. The so-called Batfleck era has temporarily lowered some of the expectations for the role, while also increasing the craving for one of Batman's most intriguing facets, revelations of his weirdness. Although Affleck had the bulk and square jaw to physically become the Gotham City superhero, he often resonated as too vanilla to be believably dark. Pattinson, by contrast, has shown he can credibly inhabit shadowy layers of intrigue.
Shadowy layers of intrigue. Is that what we're calling that now? You must like the original Spider-Man. It's a commandment, says Skip Talk. That's funny.
Notification center.
Ah,
12.
Why are you yelling at me?
Close. 12. Image. Scroll in. New subscriber.
Oh, a new
Close button.
subscriber. Welcome, new subscriber.
Safari.
Thank you for subscribing.
Is Robert. That doesn't mean that Pattinson lacks his detractors and skeptics, but it's notable that his Batman casting is being announced close to the 30th anniversary of Tim Burton's Batman, a breakthrough achievement that birthed a nearly $5 billion movie franchise. One of the most memorable feats of that film was how star Michael Keaton won over hordes of pre-release haters.
That's true. Michael Keaton was at first, people were like, no way. Robots can yell, apparently. It has been downhill from the first movie, unfortunately, says Skeptalk. Yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man Fantasy 15. Let's see. And how Nicholson stole the movie. Nicholson did steal the movie. He really did. And I like Nicholson's Joker. But I also like Heath Ledger's Joker. A lot. I really liked Heath Ledger's Joker. But I also really enjoy Mark Hamill's Joker. It's very hard for me to choose which one I like best. If I would have to pick like for say like a live action Batman, which Joker like which depiction of serious Joker, dark gritty Joker, Heath Ledger did a great job. But between Mark Hamill and Jack Nicholson, I have a really hard time picking. Let's see. Ledger's Joker is number 1. Yeah. Ledger killed it. Had to switch. I am uploading a video.
When Keaton, best known for the warm-hearted comedy Mr. Mom at the time, was announced in the late 80s as the actor to play Batman, comics fans registered their unmasked disgust. In a time before social media, the debate roared in comic book shops and industry publications, and more than 50,000 people signed petitions to protest the casting.
Oh, wow, really? That I didn't know.
After the film set records at the box office, however, it was Keaton, and not Jack Nicholson's Joker, who got the last laugh, and part of Keaton's strength, despite his slight build, was his ability to play a dark, kinetic oddball. And that's right where Pattinson slides in. Many film fans might spew vitriol over each James Bond or Star Wars casting announcement, but even they are well aware of the great Keaton overreaction of '88 and must wonder whether Pattinson might actually have the acting gift to, in Keaton's words, get nuts. You are
The great Keaton overreaction of '88. Yes, I'm sure that's what it's referred to in the industry. Let's see. Nope, never sorry. I will always love Nicholson's Joker for live action. He sorry, what did Maddie say? Um he portrayed not only the crazy wow, but also the Joker's intelligence. So Jack equals number one. Ledger killed it. Is that good or bad? Good. Got a new gem, so much so that someone got all fired up over it. Check Discord. Oh, interesting. I will have to check it out in a minute.
the latest entry in the franchise could well reveal Pattinson as a tormented, and thus compelling, Batman. Perhaps nothing has professionally rankled and motivated Pattinson more than waiting for the opportunity to prove that Twilight has turned to Dark Nightfall, and that Edward Cullen disappeared over the actor's horizon long ago. Link image.
Why do authors have to write such terrible puns? Why can't they just write an article? Why do they have to try to be funny? And why is it always the ones that are like demonstrably not funny that think that they're funny and they try to write like really awful puns? Hamill voiced the classic Joker. Let's see. Mall of America attacker sentenced to 19 years in prison for throwing boy over railing. But young boys are just up to throwing themselves over railings. Oh, got it. Okay. Let's see. Just like a Tootsie Roll Pop, the world will never know. All right, what's the next? What's the next one we've got here? Or maybe here, what we'll do is we'll get through these stories and then I'll go jump into the Discord and I'll check for the Mall of America story. Let's see. Now this is the last one from Pink Hollow. As clothing rentals take off, this Canadian company is expanding its offerings. Clothing rental, like suits and stuff? I guess. Because I've heard of suit rental, like tuxedo rental and like dress rentals, but like costume rentals. But yeah, let's see what this is about.
Clothing rental options are evolving from one-off, special occasion outfits to subscriptions for everyday apparel, and a Canadian company is expanding its closet to get in on the trend.
Wait, you can rent everyday clothes now? Why?
Rent Frock Repeat is relaunching this fall as a monthly clothing subscription service after 8 years in the designer dress rental business.
A monthly subscription service for renting everyday clothes. Dude, just why are you wasting that much money? Just if you want to spend lots of money on clothes, go to places like Value Village and shit. You can get some great finds there. They're always washed and stuff before they're sold. If you're still worried about it, go home and wash it then. You can get plenty of awesome clothes for plenty of cheap prices, and you don't have to give them back. Isn't that amazing? Well, damn it, says Gunfox. I think I got a 12-hour Twitter jail time. Oh, fuck.
Advertisement. The customers are the ones that set this in motion because the demand was there, said Christy Weber, president of Rent Frog Repeat. Weber and Lisa Owen were inspired to create the company after they were invited to a wedding and didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a dress they would only wear once.
So then find the. Do you know how much I spent on my dress? Well, you know what? I also didn't have a bridezilla for a friend who I had a my best friend was like, "Okay, bridesmaids, this is the color of dress I want you guys to wear. This is the style of dress I want you guys to wear. Other than that, I don't care. I don't expect you guys to go and spend tons of money on it." Do you know how much I spent on my dress? I spent something like $15 at Value Village for my bridesmaid's dress. And my best friend, the bride, went with me and helped me pick it out. I spent in total I spent $25 in total on my wedding outfit. I bought the dress at Value Village and I bought flats somewhere else and spent $25 and looked just as good as I would have spent or as I would have if I had spent hundreds. You do not have to freaking break your bank to go and how much did Pincalo spend? Pincalo didn't spend anything. Well, Pincalo spent gas money to drive me and him up for the wedding. That's what he spent. Because I was in the wedding party, but he wasn't. So it was just my wedding. The most expensive part was my payment for part of the because she set up a package to have her bridesmaids hair and makeup done, and we each chipped in for that, and it was something like $60 a piece. But it was a group salon package, so in total for getting an outfit for the wedding and my part for the hair and makeup, I spent $85. I don't understand these women that are like, I don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a dress. Don't. If your person that you're being a bridesmaids for insists that you do, go and like these women did, go rent a dress. But it is not a necessity to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a dress or a suit or anything like that. It's just not. And honestly, did Pincolo wait in the car or did he get to attend the wedding? Of course he got to attend the wedding. He was actually no, Pincolo did a lot of stuff that weekend. He was very, very, very helpful. Yeah, he was a great. I rent suits if I need one. Yeah. My suits cost $200. See, that's a good price for a suit. Like the whole suit. That's a good price for a suit. A $200 suit. It's a nice suit. It's a good price. It's not like it's going to be, fairly well made. 200's a good price for a suit.
They found a US-based dress rental company online called Rent the Runway and thought their problem was solved, but the site didn't ship to Canada.
So why did you only look at one site? Why did you not Google dress rental shops in Canada? Why didn't you look up the yellow pages in your area and look for local rental shops? Why? There are so many why questions that I am asking right now. Why do people have to make things so difficult for themselves? Oh, he played about like what he did when we were getting ready for when the girls were doing the night before the wedding stuff. He just went and played video games. My best friend's husband's like, the Xbox is down in the basement. Have fun. So, oh man, you'll love the name of the brand, Covington. I think I've actually heard of that brand, and no, not because of the Catholic school. No, I think I have actually legitimately heard of that brand of suit. But yeah, these women, back to the story, really made it a lot harder for themselves to get a dress. Let's see here.
It was a light bulb moment for both of us, said Owen, who's now the CEO of Rent Frock Repeat. We thought it was brilliant. In 2011, Rent Frock Repeat began renting dresses for 4 to 8 days at a time, for anywhere from $40 to $595 CDN, depending on the retail cost of the dress. Now, the company is expanding to a monthly rental subscription for everyday wear, from blazers to skirts, pants to blouses. Members will receive 4 to 6 pieces every month, for between $99 and $199. Subscribers will be able to pause their plan at any time, and the more expensive options will have other perks, such as swapping out items mid-month.
Between $99 and $199 a month for rent. Why do people do this to themselves? I have no money. I don't understand. I can't pay my bills. I can't feed my kids. Oh, but I'm going to rent monthly fucking clothes subscriptions instead of going to buy secondhand clothes or find sales on you can find sales on brands everywhere if you freaking take the time to look. But no, you're gonna spend between $100 and $200 a month to rent clothes. So you're spending the amount of money you could spend on, if you found a good sale between $99 and $200, you could get a pretty good amount of clothes for that much money that you can keep. And, here's this crazy thing. Do some laundry and wash these clothes once in a while. You can wear them again. Isn't that amazing? Once you've cleaned your clothes, you can rewear them. And you can save your money. I always try to find sales or wait till they go on clearance, says Check Your Logic. Exactly. A lot of the Covington shirts at the mall are now $8. Wow. See? Rent clothes? I even bought myself a tuxedo, says Costin. Yeah. You could even find good deals on suits. Like if you look, there are always fine clothes shops that have sales on suits. You do not have to pay full price for clothes, and this seems just like a big waste of money. You could even, do you know how many Loot Crates you could subscribe to for $99 to $199 a month? with like loot crates, that different crates that have like actual useful things in them that you could reuse. Like, why would you throw your money away like this? Holy shit. If these women find people that do actually pay this money, they are brilliant. Because holy crap, way to capitalize on people's lack of math skills. That's insane.
Heading level 2. Clothing chain see potential. Heading level 2. Clothing Rent the Runway has already convinced millions of Americans to rent clothes. It first launched as a one-off specialty dress rental service in 2009 and has since expanded to offer subscription plans, including an unlimited rental option for $159 US per month.
An unlimited rental option. What does that mean? Does that mean you get to basically does that mean you get to keep the thing that you're renting as long as you pay $159 a month, or does that mean you just get to like rent unlimited amounts of clothes for $159 a month? This is stupid. Let's see. I rented a tuxedo because I was only going to wear it once. See, that makes, if you're only going to wear something once, then rent it. But if you're going to rent everyday clothes, that makes no sense. You can buy well-made, good-looking everyday clothes for every occasion for very decent amounts of money if you know where to look for sales, and it doesn't take that much time to look for sales either. It's not like you have to do hours and days and weeks of research. This is not hard. I guess a fool and his money are soon parted. Pumpkin Trucker says, I haven't needed a tux since 1994.
In March, Rent the Runway announced it had raised $125 million in a round of funding from investors, which would value the company at $1 billion US.
Good Lord.
Traditional clothing chains see potential in rentals as well. Urban Outfitters created an offshoot called Nuuly to launch a rental service for women's apparel this summer. According to Nuuly, its warehouse and fulfillment center will include state-of-the-art laundry equipment operated by veteran laundry technicians.
Oh my god. This is so much work for nothing. I buy cheap stuff because my clothes don't last long. They get ripped up while working. That makes sense. But this is a waste of time and money for no reason. This is wow.
Bullet. Link. Fashion industry analyst Tamara Zanes said clothing rental is still a small trend, but definitely one she's watching. CBC News/Laura Mack. Tamara Zanes, fashion, end of. Clothing rentals may seem better for the planet. Shoppers avoid overbuying fast fashion items, and rented clothes are used and reused until they're no longer in acceptable shape. But the practice could have its own environmental issues, according to Tamara Zanes, a fashion industry analyst for NPD Group.
Here we go. Save the planet, rent clothes. And so save the planet. Save the planet, hemorrhage money. Awesome. Brilliant. That is ridiculous. Let's see.
Think of the washing and the returns and the shipping, all of that back end, said Zanes. I'm challenged to know how environmentally sustainable that will be.
It won't. Because you've got all that laundry equipment running, so there's all the electricity being used there. You've got the shipping of the clothes to the people and from the people back to the store. So there's the travel costs and the gas and the emissions from the trucks or however you're going to ship these clothes. There's the ridiculous amount of money that's being spent by the consumer as well as um by the store to run these laundry equipment and to hire the quote veteran laundry tech people. How do you become a veteran laundry technician? If you really want to save the planet, learn to sew. I don't care about the planet, so I didn't learn. Nice, Costin.
Zanes can see the appeal for retailers, though, at a time when the apparel industry is struggling with a lack of growth because people are buying less. It all stems from the market being flat, so all these retailers are looking at ways to disrupt their retail business model, said Zanes.
Okay, the retail market is flat because people are trying to earn and save money because inflation is bad and we're just like so we the market is flat. So here, let's get people to hemorrhage some money so that they can use clothes that they won't get to own. This makes no sense to me. I wear a green shirt and blue jeans, and then even then I wear them till I can't be worn no more. I'm saving the crap out of the planet, says Green Thunder. Oh wow, so check your logic says regardless, they have pretty good deals. The suits include a free shirt, tie, and socks, and the suits can be as low as $25. Oh, that's awesome. I've been doing laundry for 35 years. Does that make me a laundry veteran? I guess. Let's see here.
Heading level 2, ready-made rental technology. Many of the traditional retailers that have launched rental services in the US in the past year, including Ann Taylor, Vince Unfold, American Eagle, and Express, are using a technology created by a company called CAA Soul. CAA Soul's founder and CEO, Christine Hunsaker, said that for traditional retailers, subscription services attract new customers and more spending, rather than cannibalizing sales.
Yes, new customers and more spending because the customers are spending freaking over $100 a month to wear clothes that they don't get to keep. This is great for you guys. This is terrible for the customer. This is oh my god. This is literally preying on people who can't do math because anyone who can do math is going to look at this model and go, that's stupid. I'm not paying that. I'll just buy my clothes. I'll just, buy my clothes, do my own goddamn laundry, and I'll get to wear them again and again and again and not get to give them back because they're mine. Oh my god. Communism. What is wrong with owning things? Why can we not own things anymore? Is this bad to own things? What's next? Are we gonna have to, stop buying televisions and just go to renting them? Okay, Bob, it's my month for the television. Get it off of your wall now, please. Unplug it. Let's bring it over to my house and hook it up to my surround sound. And then Susie from the next door down the way, it'll be her turn after my month. Like, what the? No! What is wrong with owning your own stuff? I've been trying to get the women in my life to do my laundry for over 44 years, but haven't been successful for over 30. Does that make me a laundry veteran? Yes, I would say so. Oh. So let's see here.
We look at what we're doing as really partnering with the retailers and helping them grow their businesses and strengthen their brands, as opposed to displacing them, said Hunsaker.
I'm sure you do.
According to Hunsaker, half of the people who sign up for a subscription are new to the brand, and the other 50% spend more than they previously would have.
Because they have to.
So far, the retailer CAA has partnered with Don't Ship to Canada.
Of course not. Do we need to then rent our food? No, I will not describe the horrific act. Let's see.
There's definitely a ton of interest for an unlimited rental subscription service in the Canadian market. I think we are probably 12 to 18 months away from expanding internationally, said Hunsaker. At its previous peak, Rent Frog Repeat had 1,700 dresses. When the company relaunches this fall, it will have 30,000 different pieces available for rent, CBC figure.
That's a lot of clothes to rent.
And it's not assured that people will stay interested in the rental trend, though, according to data from NPD Group, most U.S. consumers who signed up for a fashion subscription service and subscribed within a year, with 56% unsubscribing within 3 months.
Because it's an unfeasible model. It is an it's a completely not, it's not a feasible model. People, look at it for the first 2 months and they're like, oh, this is cool. And then they, have car trouble and they look at their bills and they go, I cannot afford this. Unsubscribe. Or, they have to, I don't know, pay the gas bill. Or, I don't know, maybe have to pay their medical bills. Like maybe they had to go to the doctor a bit more. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand how people in the business world expect this consumer or this to be a valuable and valid consumer model. And I know basically nothing about business and economics. And this seems to be a completely unsustainable model of business. This just does not seem to me to be feasible at all.
You need to think of how you continuously acquire new consumers, said Zeems, or find a way to get them to stay loyal. You are currently.
How about making it either, if you do insist on doing this, make it less money. Then more people will sign up and it will balance out the cost. Right now, it's way too expensive, especially for everyday wear. It's like, this is just the way that this model is right now is unsustainable. If you want it to work, you have to lower the subscription fees. And even then, not many people are going to do it. They're going to try it. And then they're going to be like, I can buy an outfit for this and I can keep the outfit. Like, what? If I just spent if I just bought one outfit a month with this money, I'd be saving money because I could still keep the outfit and I could keep acquiring outfits. And like, consumers who want things and want to own things, because that's what humans like. We like to own things. We don't want to give them back. See you later, Gunfox. You just this is a silly thing. Like, we like to own stuff. We don't want to give it back. And we certainly don't want to have to pay for things and then have to give them back. That's not something that we want to do as consumers and as people. All right, let's see.
Heading level 2, 30,000 piece wardrobe. Rent Frog Repeat is doing a limited launch of its subscription service with 5,000 people this fall to test the technology and logistics and get feedback on the clothing. At its peak, Rand Frog Repeat had 1,700 dresses. When the company relaunches, it will have 30,000 different pieces, everything from blouses to skirts and blazers. You have to have a big closet to dress that many women, said Owen.
So you're just focusing on women. You're not focusing on everybody. Okay. So there, you've just made your market even smaller. You're only focusing on women. First of all, women who are most likely in dual income households, because single moms are most likely not going to be able to pay for these subscription fees. So you've got your market is single women with high income, or married women with dual earning households. So there you've just made your market smaller. You're not focusing on men. You're not focusing on kids. You're not focusing on you're just focusing on women. So and as I just said, low income women, women who are single moms, they most likely won't be able to take part in this. So you've just isolated a good percentage of people, and this is why your business model's not working. I actually came up with a clothing subscription service, says Costin, but the customer would actually end up owning the clothes. See, that would make more sense. Irate says, sounds like an Instagram version of what I would call a get rich quick scheme. Yes, exactly. Couldn't have put it better myself. Like, at all. That is the best way of putting it. All right, let's see here.
The founders aren't worried about stocking up on all that expensive inventory. They're confident it's what Rand Frog Repeat's customers want, because the company has asked for extensive feedback along the way. I'm so excited, because we finally recognize it's not a risk anymore, said Owen.
But it is a risk, dude. It's a very big risk. You're relying on the fact that people are going to continue to want to rent clothes. Like, listen to this.
Younger generations are driving a new trend in retail, renting clothes instead of buying. You may not see the appeal, but even traditional stores are jumping on board. 305.
Okay, the younger generation doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. Seriously, renting clothes instead of buying. They don't understand that they're throwing their money away. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. People are stupid. So here's our next story. And we've done everything from Pink Hollow. So now we've got 4 stories that I've found from Discord, and we'll see how long that takes us to. Hi, Martin. Let's see here. So Pentagon tells White House not to politicize the military. Oh, uh-oh. Pentagon's not happy. So here we go.
The Pentagon has warned the White House not to politicize the military, amid a row over a ship bearing the same name as late Senator John McCain.
Row voiceover. Amid a row.
Last week, the White House asked for the USS John S. McCain to be hidden during his speech in Japan. McCain, who died last year, was a fierce critic of President Trump.
Yes, he was. You have what? You got you got emails from PayPal saying that your donations are being rejected. But they've come through. That's not right. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's coming in. That is really weird. I'm not seeing any returns. I'm looking at my PayPal right now, Martin. I'm not seeing any cancellations or returns or bounces or anything. It's all been brought through. Um that's very strange. Maybe check with PayPal to see if something's going on with your account. I don't like I cuz I don't want you guys to think that I'm like, canceling donations or anything like that. No, that um yeah, that's very strange. I hope nothing's screwed up with your account. Um yeah, that's I do hope that everything's okay with your account. Weird. Okay. Well, no, I'm sorry for the confusion. I hope everything's okay with your account. But yeah, I have been getting them. Yeah, I'm that makes me worried. I hope everything's cool for or okay with your stuff.
The plans were never implemented, and Acting Pentagon Chief Patrick Shanahan says he will not escalate an inquiry into the incident.
I think I would, and I don't know if maybe that's a bad move. Maybe you should investigate who asked. As long as BP's getting the money, I'm happy. Oh, well, thanks, Martin. PayPal's been known to fuck up occasionally, says Irate. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it might be worth looking into who asked because there's a whole bunch of I didn't ask. No, I didn't ask. Did you ask? No, I didn't ask. No, who did? Like there's a whole bunch of I didn't do it going on over at the White House. And um I just think that maybe like not a huge high level investigation, but just a low level inquiry into who was asking those stupid things. Oh, no, see, I've been given British pounds before and um I have never had to go in and accept the payment. And it always says when I get your donations, it says that you've donated them in British pounds, but it always translates into US dollars when I get it. That is so weird. That's weird, weird, weird.
List one item. Luckily, there is no room for politicizing the military. Mr. Shanahan told reporters, "I'll deal with this in an appropriate manner."
Good.
Mr. Shanahan's spokesman, LT Cole Joe Buccino, also said that the Pentagon had raised the issue with the White House at a meeting on Friday.
Well, that's good. Because if this happened, even if Trump wasn't behind it, that's not cool. You don't need to politicize the military. The military is there to protect the country regardless of who's in power. You don't need to be politicizing the military. That's silly.
Image caption or new image copy. Getty Images. Image cap. End of. White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney told U.S. broadcaster NBC that the request to move the ship was likely to have been made by someone on the president's team. But, he said, it was not an unreasonable thing to ask and that no one would be fired over the request.
What do you mean it wasn't an unreasonable thing to ask? It was a stupid thing to ask. It was a childish thing to ask. Automated emails, yeah. Maybe it's just a bug with the PayPal system. Yeah, maybe.
Media caption Trump. They wrote page 07. Trump media cap black. End of. President Trump defended the request last week, saying that while he was unaware of that it had been made, the person behind it was well-meaning in their intention. He added that he couldn't care less that the warship bears the name of John McCain, who was a military veteran and Republican senator for Arizona.
Yeah, well, he better not care. How is Alex after he was upset on Friday? Oh, he's much better. He was upset because he spilled water all over himself and took all of his clothes off, so he wasn't dressed, and he wanted to go to work with Daddy, but he wasn't dressed, and he couldn't go to work with Daddy because Daddy was on a rush, and he was upset. So I had to go and calm him down and spend some time with him and play with him because he was sad. So, but he was fine now after he got to spend some time with mommy and go to the park and everything. He was good. Sometimes they just need their mom.
List 2 items. Link. And during the Vietnam War, Senator McCain was in prison and tortured for 5.5 years. His outspoken criticism of Mr. Trump during the presidential election campaign in 2015 sparked a bitter rivalry between the two that continued until his death in August last year, and even beyond. Heading level 2. Related topic.
So that's that story. So yeah, I do hope the Pentagon does take a bit of a look into it, because that's an unnecessary request. Very unnecessary. I don't think that was needed. Let's see here. So that's that story. What's next here? What's next on the list? Here we go. We're getting into our themed stories here. U.S. and China trade accusations are trying to destabilize Asia. So they are each accusing each other of trying to destabilize Asia. So they're trading accusations about trying to destabilize Asia. This was from yesterday. And there's the donation from Martin. It's coming in as $2. Let's take a quick look with Streamlabs here. Yep, there's nowhere to accept it, so looks like I don't have to accept that. So let's check and make sure that there's see if there's a donation message. Sorry for the dead air, guys. I just want to make sure that this is working so that Martin can have his mind put at ease here, because There's the correct email. All right. What is Cloudbot? Weird. Weird. All right. Chad Kroger or Brian Adams? Chad Kroger. For sure. Absolutely Chad Kroger. Martin. Chad Kroger, hands down. So thankfully, we know that that works. All right. Let's read this next story here.
Singapore, the US and China accused each other of trying to destabilize Asia and stir up geopolitical friction at a high-profile security summit over the weekend. But they also signaled interest in keeping military tensions contained, as trade disputes between the two countries threaten the global economy.
So they're pissed off at each other about trade stuff, but they don't want to go to war yet. Good. Good. Rush, says Irate Prostate. Yes, Rush are Canadian.
Speaking at the Shangri-La Dialogue on Saturday, acting U.S. Defense Secretary Pat Shanahan said the U.S. would no longer ignore Chinese behavior in the Indo-Pacific region after years of complaints about Chinese island building. To read the full story, you are currently up. Link. Subscribe.
Oh, you bastards. Fucking bastards. To read the full story, subscribe. Oh, fuck you. No, I'm not going to subscribe. Why can't you just provide the news? Oh, you bastards. You bastards. Let's see if this one's going to make me freaking... This is a CNN story. Let's see. BP just got paywalled. Yep, I sure did. Just ran smack into that paywall. Face first. All right, here's where we get into the real 1984 stuff. Here we go. They faced down the tanks in Tiananmen Square. Now they want their children to forget it. Because, that's what you do when you're a revolutionary. You want your kids to forget your revolution. Because, you fight the good fight and you get trodden down on, and instead of rising up again, you go, okay, just like in 1984. Is New York Times free or credible? The New York Times can have some good articles. I think you get 5 free articles a month. Like most of these article or news outlets, they give you like 5 free articles per month before they go, if you want to read the rest of this story, you need to give us money. All right. Now I'm running out of coffee. This is a sad day. My coffee cup is emptying. Sorry, there's a bunch of videos to get through before the body of this article. It's kind of annoying. Here we go. All right. You and your badly designed website, CNN.
Beijing, CNN. 30 years ago, in the heart of the Chinese capital Beijing, Dong Shanken threw 2 flaming, gas-soaked rags at a military truck after. Link. A night of bloody violence in the city. It was a move that would ruin his life.
Well, were you throwing these gas-soaked rags in response to police brutality, or did you just start shit? Pre-Grace Under Pressure, Rush, Best Rush. I am winning. Let's see. Let's see here.
Then a 29-year-old factory worker, Dong, was given a suspended death sentence on arson charges and spent 17 years in prison. It changed his family forever. His father died and his wife divorced him while he was in jail. Dong's son was just 3 years old when his father went away.
Well, see, that's hard because Tiananmen Square was, a very, very hard time, very revolutionary time. There was a bunch of horrible things that were happening that caused it to happen. And the Chinese government came down very hard on the protesters. Now, does that mean that you should be ashamed of your protest? No. And I think that's where this guy's coming from. I think he's ashamed of his protest.
But despite the impact it had on their lives, Dong has never discussed what happened in link Tiananmen Square on June 4th, 1989.
Holy shit, the anniversary is tomorrow. Okay.
With his son, now age 33. The brutal massacre of hundreds, if not thousands, of protesting citizens, workers, and students in Beijing shocked the world. For China, it marked a turning point away from the prospect of greater freedom and towards authoritarian oppression.
And this is why he needs to talk to his son about it. This is why you can't just let this stuff happen. I know it's easier for me to say that because I live in a democratic country where protest is legal. But man, like you've got to talk to your kids about it. You've got to tell them what happened.
Tiananmen convict Dong Shaken in 1989 before he was imprisoned by the Chinese government. Image.
Okay, so I've got a picture of him here in 89 before he was arrested.
Tiananmen, but Dong would prefer to have his son think he is just a regular criminal, at least in the current political climate in China, than be potentially put in danger by learning of his father's political past.
That's a terrible decision to have to make as a parent. Do you let your kid think that you're just some piece of shit criminal? Or do you put your son in danger by letting him know that you were a political activist and you were arrested for that? I do not envy that man's position. That's a terrible, terrible position to be in as a parent. Do you live with the fact that your kid thinks you're just some dirty convict, or do you tell him what happened and risk him getting angry at his government, angry enough to do something stupid that could get him in trouble? Because if I was a kid that found out that my parent was a political prisoner for protesting and trying to make my country a better place, I would be pretty pissed off at my government and I would want to do something. So I can see what, like, this guy's trying to protect his son, and in doing so making the sacrifice of his son's opinion of him, which is a pretty big sacrifice as a parent to make. Man, I do not envy this man.
It is for his safety, Dong said. I worry that I might influence his thoughts if I started chatting to him about those things. Other former political prisoners have expressed concerns about talking to their children about the massacre for fear of putting them at risk. Fellow Tiananmen survivor Fang Zheng, 53, said he doesn't blame Dong and other former activists who want to shield their children from politics. Fang, who lost both his legs in the massacre, blames the ruling Communist Party. You are currently.
Yeah, that's what I would blame too. The Communist Party has succeeded in saying and in putting the fear of death and imprisonment into their population. Wait. Wait, it says my PayPal is set up wrong? Sorry, I just saw that message from a few minutes ago, Irate. It says my PayPal is set up wrong? Weird.
That's the fear and horror that the regime has brought to everybody, he said. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese gather on June 2, 1989, in Tiananmen Square around a 10-meter statue of the goddess of democracy, demanding democracy despite martial law in Beijing. Image.
Oh, that's the picture of... Okay.
Heading level 3. Massacre erased. Dong said he believes his son is not alone in his relative ignorance of the dramatic events of June 4, 1989. 3 decades after the Chinese government declared martial law and unleashed the military on unarmed students and worker protesters, the bloodshed has been largely erased from the nation's collective memory.
Yep, it has. The rest of us don't forget it, but... Oh, for foreign exchange, probably. Oh, okay. I'll have to go and check it out.
The Communist Party-led effort has created a generation who are mostly unaware of the Tiananmen massacre, Dong said. School textbooks don't mention it and students won't find photos or stories of June 4th on China's heavily censored internet.
That's very true.
The crackdown followed weeks of protests in Tiananmen Square, a massive plaza fronting the Forbidden City and the Great Hall of the People. Demonstrators called for greater political openness, including freedom of speech and democracy, to match the country's growing economic liberalization. After fierce debate at the top levels of the Chinese government, the hardliners won and called in the military. The death toll from the protests in Beijing may have been in the thousands.
Yep. It was that happened a month before I was born, actually. So like and we actually read about Tiananmen Square in middle school. So I like to live in a country where you did a protest like that and it was a necessary thing. Then you wow, you don't want your kids to be, hurt like you were, but at the same time, like you can't just sit back and let it happen. It will, because he fears standing on his principle and sacrificing everything for his cause. Yep. Oh, I know you're using dictation to type this message, I guess. Martin. Let's see here.
Link. According to some estimates, I saw a few students were trying to climb over the fence and evacuate from the square, and a tank went straight there and crushed them to death, Dong said.
Yep.
This was the last image Widener took before he was struck in the face by a stray brick thrown by a protester. His Nikon F3 titanium camera absorbed the blow, sparing his life. With his camera damaged, Widener witnessed a group of protesters move in on a lone soldier and quote, like a pack of wolves and quote, but could not photograph it and quote, I was thinking, and number 39, Number 39, am losing the Pulitzer Prize, end quote. He says, end quote, at the same time I felt ashamed thinking that since the soldier was probably going to be killed, end quote, image. Photos, this was the last 8 of 15. Hide caption. 8 photos, people on Chang'an Avenue on June 5th, 1989, show a picture of the bodies of protesters at a...
Oh, these are all just pictures. All just like pictures of the protest, pictures of the aftermath of the protesters, or the aftermath of the protests. These are all just pictures. There's like picture after picture after picture. There's 15 pictures here. That's crazy. So so that's the survivor's position on it, that they're afraid. Oh, I'm using my keyboard, but I can't see what I'm typing. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Let's see here. So here's the government's side of the same coin. Tiananmen Square, China Minister Defense 1989 crackdown. Of course he does. So that's the government officials' take. So here we go. Let's read it.
China has defended the crackdown on the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests in a rare public acknowledgement of events. Defense Minister Wei Fang told a regional forum that stopping the turbulence was the correct policy. You are currently on a text. In spring 1989, students and workers occupied Beijing's Tiananmen Square in a massive pro-democracy protest. Many were killed in a brutal clampdown by the communist authorities. You are reporting on the events is heavily censored in China. You are list 2 items. You are currently in a link. End of the list. Tuesday marks 30 years and 6 weeks of demonstrations ended with the Beijing massacre of 3 June 4th. You are current heading level 2. What did the minister say? Image caption workers and students. Getty image work. End of. Public discussions of the 1989 pro-democracy protests and their suppression are strictly taboo in China.
Yes, they are. To this day, they are very taboo. Nobody really wants to speak of them.
But after a wide-ranging speech about trade and security at a regional forum in Singapore, General Wei Fang was asked about Tiananmen by a member of the audience. Mr. Wei questioned why people still said China had not handled the events properly.
Because they didn't, dude. Showing solidarity with my blind friend. Oh, thank you, Martin. Sorry, guys.
That incident was a political turbulence and the central government took measures to stop the turbulence, which is a correct policy, he told the forum.
Okay, then.
The past 30 years have proven that China has undergone major changes, he said, adding that because of the government's action at that time, China has enjoyed stability and development. You are correct?
Sure. That's what you want to call stability and development. Okay. All right. Your people live in fear, smushed into apartments that rise up into the sky. You're not allowed to speak freely. Your internet is censored. State controls the media. But you guys are stable. Alrighty then.
His remarks came after. Link. Twitter issued an apology for suspending a number of accounts posting about China ahead of the Tiananmen Square anniversary.
Wow, I didn't know Twitter had done that. They banned some people posting about Tiananmen Square and posting about China. Okay. That doesn't look fishy.
A tweet on their public policy account said the company was working to challenge accounts that engage in platform manipulation, including spam and other inauthentic behaviors.
What is an inauthentic behavior? Why does Jack have to be so goddamn vague? What is the why? Why is Twitter so vague about things like this?
Sometimes our routine actions catch false positives or we make errors, the tweet read, adding that Twitter was trying to correct the mistakes.
Sometimes, huh?
Users have criticized the platform for blocking the accounts using the hashtag #TwitterMassacre. Link. Republican Senator Marco Rubio accused the company of becoming a Chinese government censor. Period. Presentational gray line, heading level, analysis box by John Sudworth, China correspondent, image. In truth, there are no official acts of remembrance for the events of 1989 in Beijing, but that statement, although factually correct, is far too neutral. In truth, what happened in Tiananmen Square is marked faithfully each year by a massive, national act of what might more properly be called forgettance. In the weeks leading up to June 4th, the world's biggest censorship machine goes into overdrive as a huge dragnet of automated algorithms and tens of thousands of human expurgators cleanse the internet of any reference, however oblique. Those deemed to have been too provocative in their attempts to evade the controls can be jailed, with sentences of up to 3.5 years recently handed down to a group of men who had tried to commemorate the anniversary with a product label.
Wow.
Link. Read more from John.
That is that's a crazy. I can't believe I can't imagine living in a country like that. I mean, I know Canada has its issues. But at least it doesn't have those kind of issues. This is insane. Okay, so we've got a bit more of this article. Here we go.
More than 1 million pro-democracy protesters occupied Tiananmen Square in April 1989 and began the largest political demonstration in communist China's history. It lasted 6 weeks. Protests spread to cities and universities across the country. The demonstrators called for greater freedom and democracy and an end to what they call dictatorship. Others complained about inflation, salaries, and housing. On the night of June 3rd, tanks moved in and troops opened fire, killing and injuring many unarmed people in and around Tiananmen Square.
Wow.
Afterwards, the authorities claimed no one had been shot dead in the square itself.
Yes, that's true. That is true. They claimed that nothing had happened. They're like, nothing to see here, folks.
The Chinese government has never said how many protesters were killed, although estimates range from the hundreds to thousands. Heading level 2. Related topics.
So so those were two different stories about like two different perspectives, I guess, on the same story. And it just that was BBC actually. Canada's biggest problem is that our esteemed leader admires China. He even said so on the CBC. Ah. Yeah, he does. So I just thought I would bring those two stories to your guys' attention because it reminded me very strongly of I don't know if anyone's read 1984, but Winston basically struggles for the whole book against the Ministry of Truth, and then at the end he's just like, yeah, okay, well, it's not perfect, but it's something. And that's what's it seems like the Chinese citizens are doing, and the government's like, just like the Ministry of Truth. It's like, yeah, we did that. I don't see why that was such a big deal. It was just social. It was turbulence, political turbulence, and we took care of it. Like it's a pretty disturbing parallel. There's a lot to admire about China, just not their politics. That's all you need. Yeah? That's true. So that's that story. The next one we have is Sephora to shut US doors for diversity training. Because of course they are. All right, here we go.
Beauty chain Sephora will close its U.S. stores on Wednesday for diversity training, a month after a racial incident involving singer SZA. The R&B artist said she had been racially profiled while shopping at a Sephora store in California.
Who is Souza or Souza? I've never heard of this singer before. And how did she get racially profiled while shopping at Sephora?
The firm told Reuters it was aware of the incident but said the training was not a response to any one event.
I'm sure.
Last year, Starbucks held inclusion training amid racial profiling allegations. In a tweet on May 1st, SZA said while shopping at a Sephora store outside of Los Angeles, an employee she identified as Sandy had called security to make sure I wasn't stealing.
Well, were you acting like you were stealing? Did you stick shit in your bag when you shouldn't have before you paid for it? Like, I've accidentally done that. I haven't gotten pulled over by down by security or whatever, but I've gone and like picked up something that I needed at the store, and like sometimes I wear hoodies with pockets in the front, and I've stuck it in my pocket, and then I've gone, oh shit, I shouldn't do that. I haven't paid for it yet. They'll think I'm stealing it. Like, did you do something like that? Like, what did you do that prompted that?
Twitter post by @SZA region. Link. Skip Twitter post by @S.
Oh, here's her tweet.
Link,
Let's see what it says.
Link. Romeo Sandy Sephora location 614 Calabasas called security to make sure I wasn't stealing. We had a long talk. You have a blessed day, Sandy. You are.
Okay.
Link. Like 62.
Way to be completely vague about that.
Link. End of. The company responded at the time on Twitter. You are a part of the Sephora family, and we are committed to ensuring every member of our community feels welcome and included at our stores. Twitter post by @Sep. Link. You are a part of the Sephora family, and we are committed to ensuring every member of our community feels welcome and included at our stores.
Why did you put that tweet there when you just said what they said? That makes no sense.
End of. Last year, U.S. website Refinery 29 reported the singer had previously worked at Sephora. SZA has been nominated for numerous Grammy Awards and recently collaborated with Kendrick Lamar on the track All the Stars, which featured on the soundtrack of the film Black Panther.
Okay.
In a Facebook post, Sephora said it would hold inclusion workshops on the morning on June 5th at its U.S. stores as well as its distribution centers and corporate offices.
Okay, but what did she do that prompted that to happen? They don't believe in real diversity. TV's crazy SGW University means no white people. Yep.
Sephora did not immediately respond to BBC requests for comment about the training. Emily Shapiro, a spokesperson for Sephora, told Reuters the store closures were not a response to any one event, saying that planning for the inclusivity workshops had been in progress for months.
I'm sure they had.
Last year, Starbucks shut all 8,000 company-owned branches in the U.S. for an afternoon to carry out racial bias training. Media caption Starbucks staff are getting. End of. List one item. The move came after the firm had to apologize over the arrest of two black men who were waiting to meet someone in a Starbucks in Philadelphia in May 2018.
Yeah, but they were just loitering. They didn't buy anything. They didn't. If you're waiting for somebody at somewhere and you don't have money to buy something, you don't go inside and hang around. You just wait outside. And if somebody comes out, you go, yeah, I'm waiting for somebody to pick me up in the parking lot here. I'll be gone. I'll be gone in a few minutes. Unless you're gonna patronize the store, don't go in the store. Most stores have a you can't use the bathroom here unless you buy something policy. That's fair. Why is it not fair that they have a you can't hang around here and not buy something policy? Like, is that not a thing anymore?
The incident sparked calls for a boycott of the coffee chain. Horizontal separate. Do you think you have been racially profiled while shopping? You can share your experience by emailing.
Oh my god. Oh my god, BBC. Oh my god. They want you to email them.
Link. Have your say at bbc.co.uk.
Have your say at bbc.co.uk if you think you've been racially profiled while shopping. Oh my god. Hi, RVA. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. That is amazing right there. Oh my goodness. Hey, Pat. It's going all right? Going all right? It's called no loitering, says all you need. Exactly. All right. I think we have time for one more story. I'm going to have to go and find one. However, that's no deal, no big deal, because we've got lots of stuff in Discord. So let's just jump over there, grab one last story, and then we'll do some chat stuff. All right. Discord. Open. All right. Blind Press's Nerd Sanctuary. Yes, I just said sanctuary. All right. There's the Mall of America story that Gunfox wanted us to look at. He's not here anymore, but we'll still read it. Because at least this piece of crap got a good sentence. All right. Where's the story here? Oh, Pincolo is here.
The evil and selfish Minneapolis man who threw a child over a third-floor railing at the Mall of America was sentenced to 19 years in prison on Monday.
Good. Screw that piece of crap.
Emmanuel Deshawn Aranda, 24, looked straight ahead or down throughout most of the short sentencing hearing and declined to address the court when Hennepin County District Judge Genius Redding offered him that opportunity. You are currently on a text element inside of web
I
content.
got
to exit
some
this web
chocolate.
area, press Control,
I
Option,
think.
Shift, up arrow.
Yay, chocolate.
Aranda, link, pleaded guilty last month to first-degree attempted murder in connection to, link, the April 12th attack.
So first-degree murder, that's premeditated, if I'm correct. Which means... Well, I've got a bone to pick with Gillette. Oh, dear. Just got home from work and trying to motivate myself to make this video. Maniac Man. Yeah, the trans shaving ad. Yeah, Pincolo told me about that one. So first-degree murder means premeditation. So attempted premeditated murder of a freaking child. Yeah, 19 years. I mean, I would prefer that he would have been given life, but 19 years, I mean, that's a pretty good Start. Yep, first is premeditated, says Maniac Man. Yep.
In Bloomington, Minnesota, that nearly killed a 5-year-old boy. Heading level 4. Recommended. Heading level link. Aranda approached the youngster at random, picked him up and hurled him over a third-floor railing before fleeing the scene. Authorities said he was captured aboard a light rail train.
What a piece of crap. Just randomly run. Like, how can you... So did he just, like, wake up and premeditatively decide, I'm going to go find a kid and throw it off the... Throw it off the Mall of America? What made it premeditated? Second is killing them on the spot. Like if I got in an argument with someone, got angry and shot them, says Maniac Man. Yeah. And then manslaughter is accidentally killing them, I think.
The boy and his parents did not appear in court on Monday, but offered statements, read in court by prosecutor Cherie Townsend. Your act was evil and selfish. You chose to listen to the worst parts of yourself that day, the dad said in his statement. That is where your impact on us stops. You will take nothing more from us.
Nice. Good statement.
Both parents cited their religious faith in helping them through the horrific assault. God will judge you someday and I have peace with that, according to the mother's statement. I hand it off to him and you will take none of my thoughts ever again. I am done with you. The boy, named Landon from Woodbury, Minnesota, fell 40 feet and suffered severe head trauma and multiple broken bones.
Aw,
You are
poor kid. He's Alex's age. Alex is going to be 5 in 15 days. He was planning on throwing an adult off the balcony the day before. Oh, thank you, Straight Sith Mail, for clearing that up. So, yeah, like, Alex is gonna be 5 in 15 days. This little kid is Alex's age. This makes me sad and angry.
link. Button. Heading level to April 29th, 2019/01. Link. The family gave an update on May 24th, saying Landon has recently been fighting non-life-threatening complications from his injuries which have required additional procedures to correct.
Aww.
He is recovering, and his spirit is strong, but there is still a long road ahead, according to the family statement.
He's gonna have some acquired brain injuries, I bet, and some, probably some chronic brain injury. Some traumatic brain injury. So he picked an easy target. Yep. He did.
Aranda's family has said he, link, suffers from mental illness, period. In the plea bargain formally approved on Monday by Redding, prosecutors dropped an aggravated circumstances component to the charge that could have meant an additional year in prison. With good behavior and time already served in jail, Aranda is eligible for parole in 12 years.
No, he shouldn't be eligible for parole. Acquired brain injury, so just like going to public school. Oh, random American. That's funny. That is a funny one.
David K. Lee. Link. You are currently on a list. David K. Lee is a breaking news reporter for NBC
That's
News.
the author. Sorry. So that's that story, guys. And that takes us to about 5 minutes to 2. So we'll do some chat time now. And let's see what you guys have to say. So yeah, this little boy. I hope he'll be okay. Maniac Man. Gonna need both physical and psychological therapy, I bet, says Maniac Man. Yep, probably. Let's see. Yeah, I got some. Pincalo just came in and gave me some chocolate. They're like little, I can't remember what these are called, but they're really good. I think they're like the little rosette things. They're very good. Let's see. Do I have any coffee left? I do. Hooray. So, oh, I could be very imaginative. It would not be hard for me to harm someone who could hurt a child, says Skeptalk. Same. Absolutely. You harm a kid, you're done in my books. You're done. And anyone who hurts my kids, I will I will not detail what I would do to anyone who hurts my kids, because then I would lose my channel. um but suffice it to say, it would not be pretty. It would be like, you know, I could make the torture last for years, Skeptalk. Yeah, I know, right? It would be like in the John Wick movie. Why is John Wick so mad? Oh, they went after his dog. Oh. Like that's what it would be. Why is Blind Press so angry? Oh, they went after her kids. It's just like, you just don't do that. Let's see. Anyone got anything to say? We've got 4 minutes left. So any questions at all? It is your time. Let's see here. Can you ask a question that might be considered rude? Sure. I bet you it's not. I'm not awake enough to ask questions, says Random American. It's okay. Don't worry. Unborn generations would suffer at the memory of at the fate of someone who hurt my child. Yep. How does a blind person watch TV or films? So, a lot of us use just like obviously we just listen, and keep in mind that only about 15% of blind people are totally blind. About 85% of blind people have some form of vision, and that's all on a spectrum. So it can go from as little vision as somebody can tell, oh, look, I can see the sun is up. Oh, look, it's not up anymore. Or it can be, maybe one eye works and one eye doesn't. Or maybe they have, bad peripheral vision. Or maybe, there's a whole bunch of different visual acuities in the visually impaired spectrum. But as totally blind people, we just listen to the movie, and it's more than just listening. It's you've got to take what you hear, not just in the physical, like walking around, opening doors, cars driving, birds chirping, hearing sound sense, but you've got to take what's being said in the dialogue of the movie and try and use that to piece together what's happening as well. Um, Also, some movies, much more nowadays, are being presented with what's called descriptive video, which is a audio track that is edited in after the movie, um, where someone is given a script of specific things that they're going to describe about what's going on in each scene. And they go in this booth and they basically are reading this script, and the track goes along with the movie. Now, it used to be terribly done, and the descriptive track would be going right along with the dialogue from the actors and everything. So you missed great big chunks of the story because of described video. It's come a big way since then. Um, they've done a lot better with the editing and the dubbing, and now it describes scenery instead of, it's very hard to pick and choose what to describe. Say, you're gonna describe uh a scene where there's two people in a room. What you're gonna do when there's a break in the dialogue is, say one of the people walks over to the window to look out. That's what's gonna get described. Um, or the two people that are talking walk towards each other. Um, or one of them takes out a gun to shoot the other one. That's something that's going to happen and be described. So uh that's how that works. Then do you hate mimes? And by the way, Martin, no, that's not a rude question at all. Maniac Man says, do totally blind people dream with vision? Or is it just sound like their normal waking time? I honestly can't speak for every blind person, but I sometimes can see in my dreams. The weird thing is that it kind of switches on and off. Like, I never start my dreams seeing, or start my like I always start my dreams blind, and then randomly during my dreams I can see, and then randomly like it just turns off again. Like, I've had dreams where I've been driving and I can see exactly where I'm going, and then all of a sudden I'm just completely blind again, and I'm driving and I'm by myself because I could see before, and so I didn't need anyone to drive with me. And I legit panic. Like, it's crazy. Um so yeah, that's how I dream. And when I do see in my dreams, I see color and everything. But like I said, it's very random. It turns on and off. Like somebody's just playing with a light switch, just like on, off. It's very strange, very random. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird that way. So, with that note, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. Um, Please like and share if you haven't done so already. Share the channel with your friends too. See, get them to subscribe. I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. please come back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have another coffee stream. And well, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.